Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third game in the series between Hera and MarineLorD. Spawning in over on the east side of the map in the color blue, playing the Holy Roman Empire, it is MarineLorD. His opponent, who spawns on the west side of the map, in the color red, playing the Holy Roman Empire as well, it is Hera. And both players here going to be playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Do not be confused. It is happening. We are having a mirror. And you might be wondering, where are the Chinese at, yo? Chinese got banned, unfortunately, so we're not going to be seeing any Chinese in this series. But we will be seeing some Holy Roman Empire, so we're going to be having out our second mirror match of the series here with the Holy Roman Empire mirror. So expect to see lots of knights, lots of horsemen. Horsemen? Expect to see lots of cavalry. Let's go with that much.
And probably just as much of an infantry. Looking at the map over here, it definitely has a bit of a weird shape over here. The way that those forests are aligned on the southern side in the reverse U, you can even see a sort of frowning face in the distribution of those forests. If you look closely, the relics...
You really can.
Yep.
You've got like, you even have like the angry little eyebrow over on the right hand. So yeah, look at this. You got the little angry eyebrows like, oh, I'm upset with you. You stole my relic. But speaking of relics, Not too bad of a distribution here. Probably a little bit more favored towards Hera. He's got one slightly closer. But for the most part, everything looking relatively close here.
Exactly. That's a very, very balanced relic spawn. Obviously, it's slightly better for Hera, but it's as close as it could possibly be. Having 2 relics on the side of Hera, 2 relics on the side of MarineLorD, and then sort of one all the way up there in neutral ground. Sacred sites also fairly evenly distributed. But when you have so many forests down there, you gotta wonder if we're going to see some walls, especially if this game goes very long, because some carefully placed walls over here would secure a lot of map control for you, and 2 out of the 3 sacred sites are also down here, so this part of the map could become very, very crucial as we go deeper into the game. Looking at the Hera, he's just going to be doing the standard HRE stuff of 5 villagers being blessed on the sheep, has 4 on gold as well. Other side, for MarineLorD, he's going to have his gold mine right next to the berries, which could be great in the future for the Alken Chapel placement.
Yeah, not the best spawn for him, though. When it comes to these two guys, I mean, where are we thinking about putting the Arkan Chapel? If I have a look over towards Hera's base, this one should be relatively easy. There's a great spot right here in between the lumber camp and the house and the mining camp. It's just perfectly sitting right there. Yeah, that's where I suspect he'd be placing it down. And there it goes now. But compare that over to MarineLorD, and his is a lot harder because, yeah, as we can see, he's going between the double wood line, and this is a lot tougher because obviously there's no gold miners in here. He does actually manage to pick up the majority of the, or he's going to manage to pick up all of the food workers at the base of the town center. But the gold mine, not going to get picked up by this, and the berry's not going to get picked up by this either.
Yeah, that's definitely a way better Alken Chapel spot for Hera over here, building it with 4. MarineLorD also building it with 4. As you said, this is not going to affect the gold miners of MarineLorD, so what you're likely going to see is potentially a second prelude being made, just so that the gold miners could be blessed at some point as well. For now, MarineLorD is very heavy on the food and wood department. Makes me wonder if we're going to see some horsemen coming in from him early. No milk from either player just yet. Based on what we have seen in the semifinals that Hera has played, maybe both players are now cautious thinking about that professional scouts build, because they know exactly that horsemen could be a very good answer to that, and they could have their eco exposed.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I would like to see players at least try and wall up. It's going to make a lot of sense for them to do that. Obviously, we saw Hera in the earlier game going for the no wall challenge. Whether we see MarineLorD look to undertake the same thing today, whether we look to see Hera change it up a little bit, who knows? But that is always a possibility. Looks like Hera going to be firing off some arrows towards the scout of his opponent. Isn't successful with taking it out. Taking it down to about 33 health, so not too bad. But about to finish that Arkan Chapel, coming down at about 4 minutes 30. Pretty standard. Hera aging up now, 428, 432 coming in for MarineLorD, or 433. And yeah, going to be doing something similar. But yeah, behind this, what sort of infrastructure have we got with regard to military? Doesn't seem like too much has come out just yet. Stable so far for Hera. Over on the opposite side, nothing just yet.
Okay, there's the stable.
All right. He's going to telegraph that to his opponent as well. So both players aware of their respective military choices.
Indeed, it is just going to come down to that horseman micro at the beginning, and this is where Hera's slightly better Archenchapel could come in very handy, because this way he only needs one prelate to have his entire eco blast, whereas on the other side, MarineLorD had to make a new prelate, as you see, so that's going to be one villager sacrificed, and more importantly, 100 gold invested, so that could delay Castle Age, and that could give a nice edge for Hera.
Yeah, that's a big factor as well. But obviously he's going to have this prelate out here. It means that any potential harassment that comes down, it's going to get healed up pretty nicely. And something that people don't really consider is how useful that prelate is, because you can see him standing out there just healing up. Very, very nice to not have to think about that. But we've actually got the double stable opening coming out from MarineLorD here and from Hera. So a bit of a mirror going down with each other. We've got the early mill being dropped down as well from Hera, so look out for that professional scouts. But we get to admire the most beautiful horseman in the game. I don't know about you, Lidakor, but me personally, I love the aesthetics of this HRE horseman. It just looks so cool. It's got some great little coats on the back, a little crest there as well. Just looks really nice.
It is indeed one of the best looking horsemen in the game. Also, the Holy Roman Empire Knights look really good. They have that shiny armor.
Yes.
They look a lot more armored than any other knight. So really, HRE cavalry models are looking really cool compared to some other units. As you said, double stables for both, and we are seeing horsemen coming in from both sides. This, in all certainty, should be a rather even trade between the players. As things stand, Hera having a slightly better resource bank could give him a nice edge in this one, though.
Yeah, and keep in mind there's going to be a defender's advantage when it comes to this this map and this matchup. So the closer you get to a person's base, the more likely it is that they're going to be winning that fight, because they're going to have faster reinforcements. Their reinforcements are going to come in much more quickly because you're running in that direction and they're running in that direction as well. But now we've got the fight beginning to unfold in the middle of the map. Just horses stabbing each other with very large... What would you even call that?
How about
jousts?
a lance?
But then they're lances, right?
But it's a lance.
Is it actually? If you hover over
Yeah,
it, what does it say? Spear. They're spearmen.
Mounted spearman.
There you go.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's a very slow battle, this one, just because of the low damage that these units have got. So if you take a look at the health pool, it's quite high. So the health pool for these guys, 125. They do 9 damage. They got no melee armor. So if you want to actually kill these bad boys, you're going to need, I'm just doing the math now, 14 hits. Is that right? I'm just going to quickly calculate that one. 14 times 9 is going to give you 126 damage. They got 125 health. So that's it. You're looking for 14 hits. That's a really long time. When you compare that to a knight's doing like 30 damage a pop. Probably not that much, probably like 19. But you guys get the idea. These guys are going to be fighting for a long time. Let's just put it that way. It is a battle to the death right now. These guys are really fighting it out. You know those boxing matches you watch where, you know, both of the players get into the ring and neither one of them is ducking, or dodging. You've just got them both throwing punches. That's what's happening right now. Players throwing punches.
So far, MarineLorD has been throwing those punches very effectively because he's been killing quite a lot of cavalry from Hera. Notably, MarineLorD hasn't lost a single unit in this game so far, and that's just a brutal advantage if you think about that. He's got some heavily battered horsemen here, and of course, now Hera's gonna heal up his own. But given the fact that the hunt is being denied here from Hera, MarineLorD is in a great position. MarineLorD already on the way to Castle Age with the Regnitz Cathedral, and for Hera, he is very far away. This is looking very grim round for Hera, despite the fact that his distribution of villagers, having all of them close to the Archenchapel, only needing one pellet at the beginning, definitely helped a lot. He already added 2 more, so that he can start picking up relics at the beginning of Castle Age, but Castle Age is just a distant dream for him, whereas for MarineLorD, he's already on the way.
Yeah, that's absolutely insanity by MarineLorD. I can't believe that. The fact that he has lost absolutely no units, and yet his opponent has lost 8 units, I think it was. So managing to just remain completely perfect. MarineLorD, how do you do it, my friend? Getting a beautiful age up time behind this as well. Look at this, before 10 minutes with this mass of military out. It is crazy. And Hera actually not going to be doing the no wall challenge. We've got some walls coming out for Hera. Many people did predict that he would attempt the no wall challenge once again, but now it looks like he is determined not to do that one. Prelates picking up the first relic. We hear that in the middle of the map, going to be going over towards MarineLorD's base. Congratulations to him. He has won first prize. Let's see how he goes with the second and the third prizes. But managing to be chased away right now. Hera doing his best to keep these guys away from the villagers. Quick wall, quick wall, quick wall coming down right now. Looks like MarineLorD going to get stuck between a rock and a hard spear as the remainder of these units come in. It looks like he's probably going to be able to clean this up. Keep in mind, he had no losses before this, but now going to be slowly but steadily losing that. Villagers doing a great job of getting that quick wall in on that back line.
That was a beautiful move there from Hera, just diagnosing that opportunity. But I think MarineLorD is achieving what he wants to, because as long as those horsemen were inside the base of Hera, Hera had to send all of his own horsemen to just try and clean these up. And you see, MarineLorD keeps trickling in the horsemen, and the side effect of that is that Hera is not even contesting the relics. MarineLorD is going to get the majority of the relics here because Hera is too busy cleaning this up.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Hera has been in this position before. We saw earlier in the series where Hera took on his earlier opponent. He was down a significant amount of relics, whereas now he's going to be going up against that similar situation. But we begin to see the knights coming in, and this is where it starts to get very difficult, because these knights, have a look at the damage difference between the knight and the horseman. You've got 24 damage versus 9 damage, so absolutely ludicrous amounts of damage difference.
There's actually way more than that, because the knight has 4 melee armor as well, as opposed to the horseman having a default of 0. So really, out of that 9 melee damage, the knight only suffers from 5. Of course, with such a numbers advantage, Hera is going to be able to clean those up, but there are so many horsemen that are going to go down, and really, at this point, MarineLorD is not concerned with those knights being lost here. All he's concerned about is making sure that Hera stays within his own base, and that's exactly what is happening. There's already 2 relics in there, with the third one being brought in by MarineLorD, and there's a likely possibility of him even securing the 4th one at this point. Hera looks like he's going to be able to pick up 1, or is he?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough spot for Hera. The Wallalol gets off, the charge comes in. He's going to need one more hit to take it out. He's got the wolf in there to assist, and the Bitey Infantry definitely helps out there. And he's on the side of MarineLorD. Very well played over to the Bitey Infantry.
The Bitey Infantry coming in here to play. For those of you that don't know what we are talking about, because there's probably some people that never heard that, the unit class of the Wolf is officially a Bitey Infantry. So one of the nice Easter eggs of the game. Looks like we have a Prout moving out here for MarineLorD. He's making a run for that relic. Both of those Prouts are being chased by Wolves here. And oh, look at that. MarineLorD is hiding that knight. Now he's sending it to the left side. So for a moment, I thought he was just going to intentionally hide it. Now he sends it back towards that Prelate though. Knight's coming in though from Hera. As things stand, it looks like Hera is going to be able to secure that relic for himself.
Yeah, he manages to move this the Prelate back just in time, and beautiful screening coming in right there. He's got to be careful not to lose that Prelate. He's trying so hard to keep it alive and manages to keep it alive. It's going to be able to pick up that relic and make his way back towards his own base. Now, keep in mind, behind this, he does have those walls. He did delete them to get it through, but managing to secure up his first relic of the game, he's going to be happy with that. But I don't see any relics remaining on the map right now. It looks like MarineLorD has managed to capture 4 of them, compared to only 1 for Hera.
That exactly is the case, and that is going to be a gigantic difference when it comes to the gold income. That's 1,000 gold per minute as compared to just 300. So, huge lead there for MarineLorD. Hera was in the exact same situation against Wham, though, in the semifinals. So, both of those players have some thoughts about that set, of course, because Hera played it and MarineLorD probably was watching it, so they know exactly that this situation has already happened once, and both of them have an idea on how to close out the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough situation. As you mentioned, you know, earlier, Hera played up against Wham. He was in the same situation. But yeah, you can see the 3 relics in that Regnitz Cathedral. One of the relics going to be carried out by the by the monk, just sitting on the front, or on the prelate, just sitting on the front line, just in case. But now it looks like a couple of horsemen getting involved here with the lancers or the knights, and not having a particularly good time. Got to be careful. But what are the numbers like for these two players? They seem relatively evenly matched at this point, Lidakor.
23 to 17 are the army numbers, but the knight numbers are much better for MarineLorD. So if you look at it, it's 11 knights as opposed to Hera's only 9. Slight advantage over there, and now some villagers will pay the price for that because a couple of villagers will be intercepted here by these knights.
Yeah, going to be able to pick up a nice little gimme here. And now it's going to come down to the animation cancelling as those numbers of knights begin to dwindle. Keep in mind, we are closer to Hera's base, so those reinforcements going to be assisting. We don't see any units running in at this point. A few units streaming across the map, but it's going to take time. And now we see those reinforcements beginning to come in from Hera. He begins hitting down and taking out some of those additional knights, but it looks like MarineLorD's going to have to fall back at this point in time, appreciating that those extra infrastructure pieces that are oh so close to Hera's base are going to continue to reinforce much faster for him. But now, up towards the north, Sacred Site going to begin getting captured up there by Hera's prelates. But this is not too long for the world as we see the horsemen running up there at light speed.
And you already have one Sacred Site in the hands of MarineLorD. So it's one thing that Hera is able to hold himself. The problem is that his opponent is already capping Sacred Site. So not only do you have 4 relics as opposed to just 1, you also have that 100 gold per minute extra for the Sacred Site here for MarineLorD. And soon he's going to pop that Sacred Site victory countdown as well, forcing Hera out of his base at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for him to be able to hold on to this. Because keep in mind, MarineLorD is a different kettle of fish when it comes to his prestige level. Obviously, Wham was his first big event, and he went into a series going up against Hera, who is an absolute titan. But this isn't MarineLorD's first rodeo, and I suspect with the extra relic advantage, he's going to be able to close this one out a lot more easily than Wham tried to in that previous series. So we'll have to see how he manages to do, but there's a lot of infrastructure back here. He's also got the double barracks that he's put down. Keep that in mind.
Oh, I love this.
What's he planning to do with that? He's got the Lanch Connects coming out again. Oh, my lord.
We gotta appreciate this move here from MarineLorD. This is a very, very clever thing, and the person that we have to credit for this is actually the Muslim, because he was the one that first shown this in the 3v3 Pro League. He actually used the relics garrisoned inside castles to increase their range. And it turns out that if you garrison those relics inside castles, docks, they still give you the gold trickle. So there's no point making an expensive monastery when you can make an outpost and you can just have your gold trickle there as well. Also, that's going to increase its weapon range as well. The best case scenario would be to make it into the castle, but there is no castle right now to garrison it into.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So it's going to provide that buff to that outpost. But yeah, as you mentioned, that outpost only going to cost 100 wood. So very affordable. It's basically just a cheap monastery. So why the heck not?
Yeah, that's actually a very, very clever thing to do. And not something that we have seen so far a lot. Looking at the economies.
Knights chasing away knights, yeah. a routine that we've seen today. Yep. Hasn't it been, Lidakor? It's just been, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you make knights and then you make the win. I saw someone in the chat mention that. He did the little troll ogre face. It's like, me make knights, me win. And it's very accurate. I guess the part that gets it for me is that we're on the most closed map as possible. I mean, you've got MarineLorD who's walled up completely. And yet still, we've got, almost 100% knights. The exception being obviously the Lanch Connect is still coming out onto the field. But for the most part, it's 99.9% knights. And that's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yep, it is. Especially once they start clashing into each other. You got 16 over here from MarineLorD. Hera's got a slightly lower number of only 15. But the big thing here is going to be replenishing those, because as things stand, they will just trade evenly over here with all this animation cancelling going on. But MarineLorD's gold income is just way better. Hera coming in with the reinforcements, though, to swing this battle in his favor.
Yeah, quite a lot of reinforcements coming in here as well. You can see them with their lances down and now pointing in the direction of their opponent, chasing after them, making sure that they head on out of here. They know who the boss is. And Hera trying his best to hold on at this point in time. But what's that mass looking like up towards the main base of MarineLorD? I'm curious to see. He's got a handful of lances or knights coming out, but not a lot of Lanch Connects. So Yeah, I'm curious to see how this game is going to unfold. We continue to see those forces beginning to build up. He's neutralizing the sacred site. He's going to have to come in here and prevent that, and manages to get off a good charge. So keep in mind, if you get your charge off against the opponent's obviously not going to be able to charge you because they've been sitting down on the ground. It's only if you guys charge each other at the same time is it going to be that effective. But the sacred site victory going to continue being held up right now for MarineLorD, and he's looking very strong with this extra income per minute. You can see at the moment just how much more ahead he is sitting of his opponent. He's sitting up there with about 600 more food, about 500 more wood, and about 200 more gold. So significantly greater economy.
And you see that Hera is constantly trying to neutralize those sacred sites, but it's a difficult thing because MarineLorD always comes in with some reinforcements. Should be able to take the one on the north though, but MarineLorD says, who cares? I'm just gonna run into your eco, and that's probably the right decision to make. The sacred sites are nice extra, but it doesn't compensate for 50, 60 villagers lost over here, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's what's about to happen. Are we able to quickly check Hera's base before this happens? We've got MarineLorD sitting on 61, 57 for Hera. Let's see how much he loses, because this is going to be terrible damage coming out today.
And his entire food eco is idled. As you said, it is just a war of knights right now, so having your entire food eco idled means that it's going to be difficult to replenish your knights, and Hera doesn't even wait until his eco gets slaughtered. He's just going to tap out of this one. He was behind in the relic department already, and he knows exactly he can't compensate for such a big loss in his economy.
Yeah, this is a bit wild to me. I'm continue to scratch my head just with regard to the way that Hera's playing this map. Still deciding to avoid walls. Like, obviously there was a wall down towards the south, but could have very easily walled up the front and at least given himself a little bit of time to try and catch that. I'm sure he probably realized going up against MarineLorD, it's always going to be tough when you're down that many relics. But by the same token, I would have loved to have seen at least a little bit of a wall on the front line designed to prevent such an attack from coming through.
Looking at the economies, I feel like it's quite obvious why MarineLorD was able to take this game here. That is 4,000 gold difference, but also, of course, Food and Wood is benefiting from the fact that your gold income is much better because you don't have to spend that many villagers on gold. So there's an indirect effect of those relics being garrisoned, and that is that your Food and Wood eco is also going to be stronger.